Okay, actually, based on our discussion with the professor, in semester exam was in semester exam will be objective plus subjective. Total marks would be 50 marks. So total would be 50. For this, 25 would be objective and 25 would be subjective. So what not to expect, I will just tell that first. Compensator design. Since you have done this in design assignment and another two assignments will be on the row. So you will be doing compensated design using, you have done compensated design using root locus already. Now you will get another assignment on compensated design using Bode plot. So by root locus and by Bode won't come in the exam. Another thing is, we don't really ask you to solve long problems on Bode, Nyquist, or what else? Root locus. But you should know what it is. So instead of asking a very long question, we have asked some questions like intuitive based, concept based questions. So you should prepare in this direction. Don't spend time on solving big problems. Um, Rather than you can focus on preparing the same topics like root locus, Bode, Nyquist. Prepare the same topics from this point of view. Like intuitively try to understand what is happening behind it, and the questions will be most on concepts based. If you know the concept well, you should be able to answer. That's how the questions will be. So you can also try solving problems. That doesn't hurt, but the questions will not be very long. That's what we are trying to tell. Apart from this, all the weeks, week 1 to week 12 will be covered for syllabus. More more weightage, I cannot say more weightage, but broadly we if you cover time domain analysis, stability, transfer functions, transfer function based questions, Laplace transforms, stability, all stability, including route stability, root locus, Bode, Nyquist, mm, PID controllers, PID controllers, frequency domain analysis, like gain margin, phase margin kind of questions. That includes this time domain analysis includes all this rise time, delay time, overshoot, steady state error, and everything. Both transient and steady state you have to learn, and in that root locus will be covered. In this frequency domain analysis, so this is a broader category that covers few of this inside topics also. So this frequency domain analysis primarily revolve around finding gain margin, phase margin, gain crossover frequencies, crossover frequencies, bandwidths, and that also covers this Bode and Nyquist somehow. So you should be able to interpret if given a Bode plot, what is the transfer function of it. Otherwise, if given a root locus, what is the transfer function of it? Or if we give a transfer function, you should be able to guess the root locus, and other way around for Bode also. So same with the Nyquist, and some intuitive questions like if this is a system, what would be the breaking points, or what is the angle of asymptotes, or how the stability of the system would look like. With only Nyquist or Bode, you should be able to sense the nature of the system. So intuitively, if you learn uh, the concepts behind each and every topic, you should be able to answer it. It will be easy then. Then comes the state space analysis. Here, uh, this state space representation you should study, and in both transfer function and state space, you should see modeling real time systems like pendulum, mass spring damper. Some classic examples we have given in our presentation, right? You can cover those topics. And in state space analysis, first we might ask transfer function to state space to transfer function, that you should be able to compute. Then like modeling, like if we give the RLC circuit or RC circuit or mechanical circuit or mechanical system or rotational system, and we will be asked to find the transfer function or state space or any of these things. So either of these things you should be able to prepare. And then in state space, stability comes, stability, linearization. So if you want to see linearization, nonlinear systems should also be covered. Equilibrium points. Then comes what else? Controllability, observability, that we are ready to solve problems on. Canonical, same controllable, observable canonical forms. Diagonalization. So, and pole placement, it's very important. It's similar to PID controller. In state space, pole placement is also important. So you should be able to design in pole placement, I'm saying, you should be able to design a controller for any system. State feedback control for a system. And then comes state observers. So after covering this, you should be able to design observer also for a system. So in observers, there are many topics like minimum order, reduced order observers. That also you can take a look. Uh, Let me check the syllabus of week 12 once. Like in week 11, we have seen about pole placement. Kalman filter. These are the broader things. It doesn't mean that the topic that is not here will not come. I have just tried to cover the broader concepts. You can give importance to these topics and then just go through the PPT from week 1 to week 12 as it is, and the problems, graded assignments, and practice assignments. Take enough time. Don't think that I can sit one day before night and I can solve all the problems. It will stress you out. So just give enough time to prepare all these things, separate week by week concepts, and then start to prepare on that, so that you can make use of the live sessions also. Whenever you are revisiting a topic, you don't understand anything, you can just ask us. So please use this time wisely. Okay. Last week we have seen some problems on week 10. That is mostly covering state space representation, modeling, and state space to transfer function to state space. Week 10, where did we stop? We stopped in equilibrium, linearization, nonlinear systems, finding equilibrium points and linearization, right? So let us cover some more problems on that. Then we can switch to We can solve this problem. Oops. Consider a nonlinear system represented by one dot equal to u1 cos x3, x2 dot is equal to u1 sin x3, x3 dot is equal to 2. Question is find the linearized state space model of the system with equilibrium condition. X1 star, x2 star, x3 star, transpose like, and u1 equal to 0, u2 equal to 0. Ultimately, they are asked to us to find the matrix A. This is system matrix. In x dot is equal to ax plus bu, they have asked us to find the system matrix A. This is the question is. Now, first of all, we'll write the dynamic equation sin x3 and x3 dot is equal to u2. Here, you know, there are three states. States are x1, x2, x3, and inputs are two inputs, u1, u2. So the system has three states and two inputs. Right now, we have to find the equilibrium point at first. Right? To find the equilibrium point, we have to equate this equation to 0. So this will give us, they already gave the assumption that u1 and u2 are 0, input are 0, and consider it to be an autonomous system without any input. So the first equation becomes 0 itself. Second equation will also be 0. Third equation will also be 0. So there is really uh, no other point in solving this problem. So for this kind of problems, if the assumptions has been given like u1 equal to 0, uh, the inputs are being 0, then you can straight away take the system. Since all the states has the influence of the input, the system matrix will be all 0. If in case this is not there, for example, this is equal to x1, then in that case your system matrix won't be 0 matrix. So you should compute the system matrix as x1. So x3 equal to x1, x1 is equal to 0. In this case, it will be 0. Just because that u1, u2 are 0, the system matrix won't become 0. It should be there in your state space equation representation. So for example, if it is like this, so in that case, it won't become 0 even if you put x1 equal to 0, right? So you should be equating x1 equal to x1 plus 1 equal to 0, x1 is equal to minus 1. So your system matrix would involve all these things. But according to our problem, in and the assumptions we take, the system matrix A would be all 0 matrix. A will be 0 matrix because every function has a u in it. If u1 u2 is also not equal to 0, we have to substitute that and solve it. That's it. But solve regularly. No need of doing any extraordinary things. In the above question, it's a follow-up question. In the above question, what is the dimension of B? So what do you guess? So it will be x dot is equal to ax plus bu. So in this case, you know it is 2, u1, u2, x you know it is 3. So what could be the B matrix? Could be. This is 2 cross 1. This is 3 cross 1. Your A matrix would be 3 cross 3. Right? Then what is the value of your B matrix?
3 cross 2.
It cannot be 3 cross 3. So because if you multiply this ax in a into x, so 3 cross 3 into 3 cross 1, then this both will go. The outer product, if you get it, the solution to this a into x you will get 3 cross 1. So here also you should get 3 cross 1. So x cross y dot 2 cross 1. So when one, it will come from the outer product. So if you have to nullify this both should be same. So y should be 2. Outer you should get 3. So it should be 3. So this will be 3 cross 2 matrix. If you didn't follow, I will tell it again. So the overall matrix is ax plus bu. What are all the known things? A is 3 cross 3, U is 2 cross 1, and X is 3 cross 1. These are all the known information. They just asking about a B matrix. So this you are doing outer product. So if you are doing outer product, this both will go. So you will get the outer product dimension for the solution of this product matrix. So if you multiply A into X, you will get which is where A is 3 cross 3 and X is 3 cross 1. You will get a matrix, output matrix, that is in dimension 3 cross 1. How is from the outer matrix, outer product matrix. Similarly, if you multiply x cross y matrix with 2 cross 1, you should get the same 3 cross 1 output. So this 2 should be same. So y should be 2. Outer product, it should be same. So this 2 will go away. You will again get the 3 cross 1. Why these 2 should be same? Because there is a addition in between. If this dimension and this dimension doesn't match, you cannot add the matrix together. That's it. So your B matrix dimension would be 3 cross 2. Okay. We'll solve some other problem. it. I'm writing the problem. It's a different problem, not a follow problem. Consider the following nonlinear system: x1 dot x2 dot equal to x2 plus mu square minus x1 plus 5 into 1 minus x1 square into x2 plus u. U is the input, x are the states of the system. Now, the first subdivision is to find the equilibrium point of the system. You know how to find the equilibrium point, right? Just x1 dot equal to 0, x2 dot equal to 0. You can solve side by side. So, when you are considering this kind of problem where the inputs are there, you can just consider that inputs equal to 0 at that equilibrium point, because equilibrium point is a stable state. There will not be any outer push unless there is an intent to move the system to some other point. So for now, at that moment, you can consider u equal to 0. So this will give us x2 equal to 0 minus x1 plus 5 minus 5x1 square. Oh, there is a x2 also, right? So this will be 5x2 minus 5x1 square x2 equal to 0, right? You know from the first equation, x2 equal to 0. This is the one equation we got. Substitute x2 equal to 0 here, then you will get x1 equal to 0. So this is the one possible equilibrium point. Now look for any other possibility. 0, 0 is a equilibrium point. So look for any other possibility. Is any other way you can keep x1 constant and put x2 some other value? There is no way, because here according to this problem, the first equation suggests x2 will be 0. It's a fixed one. You cannot do anything about it. So this is the only one equilibrium point for the system. So if you take the graph, this is its equilibrium point. If you draw a phase portrait, all the that depends on the stability, right? Wait, that will come later. Okay. Equilibrium points we form. The equilibrium points will be represented using the star. So star will be 0, 0. This corresponds to x1. This corresponds to x2. Okay. The second question is, linearize the system around its equilibrium point with u equal to 0. They are in the question itself, they are asking us to consider u equal to 0. If they didn't give 0, something like u equal to 2, you just substitute whatever value they are giving in the question in the u to get system matrix A and input matrix B. They're asking us to linearize the system and find the linearized A matrix and B matrix, because now this system has the non-linearity, x1 square and x1 x2 multiplications are there, no? So those kind of non-linearities we have to get rid of and find the linear time invariant system. Right. They asked us to put u equal to 0, then the equation becomes x1 dot equal to x2, x2 dot equal to minus x1 plus 5x2 minus 5x1 square x2. That's it. Right. Now I'm going to linearize. I'm going to use the Jacobian matrix. Since it is a two variable matrix, I'm just going to restrict the Jacobian matrix to 2 cross 2. Dou f by, since f here I can differentiate. Instead of f, I'm going to straight away write x1 dot by x1, dou x1 dot by x2. So here the numerator should not change, denominator should be changed. Here x2 dot by x1. So vertically the numerator should change. Don't mix this, then you will get a wrong matrix. Keep a way to understand this, okay? Horizontally numerator should not change, something like that. Otherwise, if you can solve from the expansion, then it is fine. If you want a shortcut method, just fix one thing. Now I have to solve this at the equilibrium point 0, 0. Now differentiating x1 dot with respect to x1, there is no x1, so I'm putting 0 because dou x2 of x1 will be 0. Then differentiating dou x2, this is x1 dot I'm doing it for. Dou x2 by dou x2. So this is like differentiating x with respect to x. So the answer would be 1. Coming to the denominator, so next equation for x2, dou by dou x1 of, since we have multiple variables, we are using dou. If you are dealing with single variable, we will be using d for differentiation, right? Minus x1 plus 5x2 minus 5x1 square x2. So if I differentiate this with respect to x1, so two terms has x1. So this will come some constant values. This x2 will go to 0 since it doesn't have any variable. So this will give me minus 1 minus 5 into 2 because there is a x1 square. 5 into 2 x1 x2. Since everything else in the multiplication, nothing else will go to 0. So the variables will stay there. So this is the expansion we got minus 10 x1 x2. Then differentiating the same with respect to dou x2. So this will give me 5x1 square x2. So this doesn't have an x2, so it will go to 0. If I multiply, differentiate this, the coefficient would remain. If I differentiate this, this is the actual variable, so everything else will be considered as coefficient. It would remain as it is. So this will give me 5 minus 5x1 square. I am going to put 0, 0 here because it is the equilibrium point. We are linearizing the system around its equilibrium point. This will be 0, 1 minus 1, 5, right? So this is my linearized system matrix, that is A. Okay, 0, 1 minus 1, 5. Good. Now they also have asked B matrix, right? We have to find the B matrix also. So if you want to find B matrix with U equal to 0, we have to consider. Yeah, so it will become, just checking whether the answer is correct or not. Now we are going to do the same for the same Jacobian linearization for U matrix alone, U alone for finding the input. Where is the equations from here? So x1 dot is equal to x2 by U, x2 plus U square. x2 dot is equal to minus x1 plus y into 1 minus x1 square x2. Oh, sorry, x2, common x2. Plus u, right? Now we are going to differentiate it with respect to u. The first term doesn't have any u, so this will be 2u, and this doesn't have u, this doesn't have u, only one u is there, so it is 2u. I'm going to put values of 0, 0 here also. Sorry, this for the state, right? But for input, we are always considering u equal to 0. So whenever there is u, you have to put 0 there. So this is your B matrix. Okay. So we found A matrix as 0, 1, minus 1, 5, and B matrix as 0, 1. So these are your system matrix and the input matrix. Now they are asking, the third question is, what are all the, or what are the poles of the linearized system? So the linearized system is this one. This is the linearized system. So you have to find the poles of this linearized system. Either you can use it as a differential equation and find the poles of the system, convert it to transfer function and do poles of the system, find the characteristic equation in the denominator, and then you can find the factors of it which will give the poles. Otherwise, for state space representation, there is another easy method, that is to find the eigenvalues of the system. So this is the intuitive way of seeing this. Systems A matrix eigenvalues are same as the poles of the system. So if you can just find the system matrix eigenvalues, which is easy, which can be gotten in 1 or 2 steps, then you can get the poles of the poles of the system. You don't have to find transfer function and characteristic equation and do all those extensive steps, right? How to find the linear or eigenvalues of this? Just you will do the determinant of Si minus A equal to 0. If you solve this, this will give you the poles of the system. Otherwise, I can write it in terms of this. If you don't notice this mod, this is like determinant. Right. Now, I'm going to write Si minus A, S minus 1, 1, S minus 5. If I do Si minus A, this will be S0, 0, S minus 0, 1, minus 1, 5. I've just written the answer of this. S minus 1, 1, because minus of minus 1 will become 1, S minus 5. That's what I have written here. This is Si minus A. I have to find the determinant of this and equate it to 0. Determinant will be multiplying this and minus multiplying this. This is like a route stability criterion. S square minus 5s minus of minus 1, this will become 1 equal to 0. So this will give me minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. So minus 5 plus or minus root 21 by 2. 21, how can we split it? 7 into 3. Nothing, it's really nothing is there to split it. So this will become just this. This is the pole. Just you can write the decimal of this to see it better. So this will become minus 2.5 plus some number, root 21 by 2, some value it will come. So these are stable pair poles, right? So this is the poles of the system lies in minus 2.5 plus root 21 by 2. Another one lies at minus 2.5 minus root 21 by 2. So from this you can also tell the stability. So stability means the system is stable if its poles lies on the left half of the S plane, because if it is negative, less than 0. So all the two poles are less than 0, so the system is stable. If it's greater than 0, system is unstable. Right. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Isn't should be plus 5 s square minus 5s, right? It's
Oh,
like
okay. It's minus b, right? Yeah, you are right. You are right. I just overlooked that. Since it is minus 5 here, this should be plus 5. Should be plus 5. Right. Thanks. It's a big mistake. So this should be plus 5. So since it is greater than 0, the system is unstable. Okay. Correct. If it is a square plus 5 plus 1 equal to 0, then the system is stable. Since there is a minus 5 here, it will make the system unstable automatically, because you cannot do anything about that minus sign, right? It's that. Okay. Similarly, like try practicing these things. Instead of doing different problems, take one problem from weak 1 or 2. For example, mass spring damper system. So it is a second order system, right? So when you have time, or if you want to explore these things, take the second order system. First, write it in terms of a modeling with a spring, with mass, and all those dampers, everything with that, and if with force, you try to write it in terms of this, and then derive transfer function from it. Try deriving transfer function. So in transfer function, you would be assume the initial conditions are 0, 0, right? Then derive a transfer function. Try to convert this to a state space representation. This is the one method. Another method, using the same system, try to derive the state space representation and try to convert it to transfer function. This way you will be clear how any of the system, if you take a system, what will be the minute difference between solving straight to transfer function or solving straight to state space representation, and then you can go from one thing to another thing. But always remember, when you convert a state space to transfer function, you should be assumed the initial conditions are 0, 0. If the state space representation have not mentioned that the system has been defined at a initial condition 0, 0, you cannot, there is no point in converting it to a transfer function, because transfer function in nature represents a system at its 0 initial conditions, right? Then you can do, what you can do is, if the system is inherently not non-linear, trying to find linearize the system, or if it is a linear system, try to find the equilibrium point of the system. When you find the equilibrium point and you already have a linearized system, this mass spring damper will be linearized system only. So it's like you are having a Jacobian matrix in your hand. You already did this step. It means that. So using this A and B matrix, find the eigenvalues of the system, and you can choose your J, B, S or K value, so that this poles and the root location will change. So do for 2, 3 different values, some excessive values, 100,000, 0.1 kind of values. Find the eigen values of the system and find the stability. So this is a good homework for you, so that you can get to practice what it really is. So when you try solving this problem, you will see the perspective where we are making mistakes, or how to go to the next step from one step. Some might get stuck in one. So you should be able to come out of it by solving different problems. That's what it is. Then once you do this successfully for a mass spring damper, take a rotational system or a simple pendulum, which is a non-linear system, then linearize it and do all these things again. So this will give you good practice. We'll solve little hard problem which has a good amount of non-linearity. So I'm going to give you a system that is Lotka Ultra Predator Prey model. So in control systems, we used to have different mimic way of representing a real-time system. For example, a classic example for a control system when sir used to introduce or anyone used to introduce is, they will tell you that there is a pond. So in that pond, there lives a small fish and there lives a big fish. Okay. So they just increase the number of the small fish and say at day 1 or day 0, there is one big fish and three small fish. So after day 15, what will be the number of small fish and the big fish? There are many assumptions, like the big fish can eat one small fish one day, and there are some other assumptions like two small fish can give birth to another few small fishes. So we don't know what happens each and every day unless we don't hold any assumptions, right? So this type of problems we call it as predator prey model. So this basically tells the relationship between your predator and the prey. So how the prey is going to approach the predator's envy, or how the predator is going to survive by eating all the prey. So once, even there is a conditions like sometimes if the big fish eats all the small fishes, then after that, for example, this happened in day 5. So from day 5, the big fish won't be having any food after that, right? Then it will start to death. This will also bring the whole model to a equilibrium point. So unless we keep this both of these parties alive, we don't get to have any life happenings. So it's really depends on the objective and motive of the problem. And also, 1 minute, I'll just switch off this low power. It keeps turning off. Okay. So this is the objective behind it. So this is the problem I'm going to give is one of the classic example for that. They are telling a story that now consider as two species ecosystem again, but the two species this time being predator and prey. Forgetting the logistics, assume that without the prey, predators die exponentially, and without the predators, the prey grow exponentially with some rates due to the interaction. Predator population increases and prey population decreases. The dynamic equation will be given by the following. So they are telling without prey, predator will die exponentially. Without predator, prey will grow exponentially. Right. So the dynamic equation that represents this relation is given by this dx by dt equal to kx suffix x. It is minus alpha, or a, it is alpha into x1, and dy by dt will give you. So these are some parameters that will represents the relation between these two, right? Where x is the prey and y is the predator. I will write it here. So these are the real states, and rest of the things are just parameters that helps us tune. X will be prey and y will be the predator. So these are all the two states we have, two dynamic equations. So this is the second order system. The rest of the things, this alpha, beta are tuning parameters. And kx, ky also. Right. It's a kind of gain tuning only. So the question is, identify which of the following is or the equilibrium point of the system. Considering x, y greater than or equal to 0. This is a basic assumption because we cannot start from only prey or only predators. So we are taking an assumption like both predators and prey are alive. Both are there. We don't know how much it is, but both are greater than 0. With this assumptions we are taking. So they have given few options. 0, 0 is one option. Second option is ky by beta kx by alpha. This is another equilibrium point they have given. Third one is ky by beta. We both are same. I think there is some typo. Ky by alpha, I guess it is. Kx. I guess so. If we get some other equilibrium point, I think that is the option 3. Here it was not both the second option and third option given are same. So we have to first find the equilibrium point of the system. For equilibrium point, what we usually do, just equate it to 0, right? So we'll first equate it to 0. That will give us, I will write it in different form. That will give us kx x minus alpha xy equal to 0 minus kyy minus beta xy is equal to 0. So this common term, what is there? X is the common term. Kx minus alpha y equal to 0. This common term here is y minus ky minus beta x is equal to 0. So there are states inside and outside. So this is the type of problem I'm saying. It has more than one equilibrium points because the state is there here and here, here and here. So you cannot just assume that x is equal to 0, 0 is so only equilibrium point because you might get more than that. So for this equation number 1, this I'm considering as equation number 2. So for the equation 1 to be 0, for the equation to be 0, there are two terms. One is, oh, it was like a dot. For the equation to be 0, there are two conditions. X might also be 0. Otherwise, kx minus alpha y might also be 0. If both terms goes to 0, then it will become 0. Or either of it goes to 0 also, the whole equation will be 0. Similarly, for the second to be 0, y should be either y should be 0 or minus ky minus beta x equal to 0 or both should be 0. So these are all the two conditions. So first this is considered to be condition 3 and condition 4. Right. For this, now the common assumption is if you take this assumption, this two holes, if you take two pair from this, see there are four combination. One is this. If you take like this can be the combination or this can be the combination. This is one set. Similarly, this can be the combination or this can be the combination of x and y, equilibrium points I'm saying. Right. So if I consider this first combination, I'm considering it as first, second, third, fourth. Okay. Considering the first combination, x equal to 0, y equal to 0. So this is one equilibrium point that is possible. The second combination is that x is equal to 0 and minus ky minus beta x is equal to 0. So while doing this, x you know already 0. So I'm just substituting x is equal to 0. This will give me xy equal to 0. Ky it is, right? See, I have missed one equation here. Ky it is there. It's right. So, wait. If x becomes 0, you cannot do anything about it here. Good. So if you put 0 here, in terms of x, so the whole equation becomes 0 because this is k suffix y it is. This is k suffix y. K, it's not ky. Okay, k suffix y equal to 0. So it is a constant, then the ky should also be 0. So this will also, see, I'm writing the points here 0, 0. This is also implying it should be only 0, 0. X and y should be only 0, 0 because since there is no other variables. And the second combination, third combination I'm taking is this y equal to 0, this third combination, and kx minus alpha y equal to 0. So from this, since y it is 0, it is assumed, this y will go to 0. Again, kx, k suffix x will be 0. That doesn't make any sense. This will also implies one of the equilibrium point should be 0. So it is also 0, 0 because the another one, it is undefinable. So I'm just moving to the fourth combination, that is kx minus alpha y equal to 0, k minus ky, kx ky minus beta x equal to 0. Right. Now solve these two equations to find the equilibrium point. This will give me minus alpha y equal to kx. This will give me minus beta x is equal to minus alpha. This will be only plus alpha weight. Alpha weight is equal to kx. This will also be plus, right? Both are minus. One goes the other side. Another will be minus. Minus ky. It will be like this. Okay. Now, x is equal to minus ky by beta. Y equal to kx by alpha. So these are all the another set of equilibrium points. So this will give me minus ky by beta comma kx by alpha, right? So since these two doesn't make any sense because the another variable, if one variable goes 0 here, there is only constant left. So here also, so these are not considered. And considering this, one equilibrium point is 0, 0. Another equilibrium point is minus ky plus beta, comma kx by alpha. So this option is really is that mistake was like this, minus ky by beta. So the denominator they have put is right only. They forgot to add this minus here. Okay. So this is the right option we got. Two right options, 0, 0 and the minus ky. So equilibrium point 1 is 0, 0. Equilibrium point 2 is minus ky by beta comma kx by alpha. So even though there is another question, we are just going to see how linearized system of this low curve ultra model would look like. So we are going to linearize around this equilibrium points. First, I'm just rewriting the equation here so that it will be easy to analyze it. Okay. 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 But now I'm going to linearize it and see. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes, yes.
Can you scroll a bit?
More. Do you have any doubt here?
How are we getting minus ky minus beta x equals to 0?
Because if you are equating this to 0, if you are wait, if you are equating this equation to 0, so if this has to be 0, either x should be 0 or this term should be 0, right? Otherwise, both can also be 0. 0 into 0 will give you
Equation we
0.
have is yeah, but the equation is like y dot is minus ky y plus beta x y,
Mhm.
right? You wrote
So this is the
equation.
equation. Beta xy we have took y common, right?
No.
This is
We
this is
have
the
the
actual
equations like
equation.
x dot equals to ax. Yeah, y dot equation, is it correct only? You wrote it like ky y, sorry, minus ky y plus beta xy.
Where, oh, here I have written like that. It is
That's
plus
what I'm
only.
getting.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus ky by beta.
So this will be plus, right? So I'm doing this silly mistake every time.
Yeah.
So this will also be plus. So this will give me plus. Right. Since I'm scrolling and mugging up and writing, I'm just making mistake then and there. Thanks for pointing it out. So this will also be plus. Here plus. Then this will be plus, right? Am I right?
Yeah, we will get x equals to plus ky by beta.
Beta, right. So this equation would be same. The second option will be. So this is the right equation, right equilibrium point, not this. Okay. Okay. Right. Good. Now, so it is clear until this point, right? Okay. Now we are going to find the Jacobian
Yes,
matrix
ma'am.
to linearize system. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Linearize this system around its equilibrium. Right now, first it is dou x dot by dou x, dou x dot by dou y. Previously, we used to have x1, x2 notation. Since they have given in xy, we are just following that. Dou y dot by dou y. This is my Jacobian matrix. It is a 2 cross second order equation, so 2 cross 2 matrix. Now, so I'm writing step by step for those who don't have multiple practice here. So this will be dou by dou x of kx x minus alpha xy. So there are x terms are there in both equations. This will give me kx minus alpha y. Similarly, dou x by dou y x dot by dou y will give me dou by dou x of kx x minus alpha xy. This will be easy because this term will go to 0 since there is no y term here. So this will give me minus alpha x. When I do this for dou y dot by dou x minus dou by dou x of minus kyy plus beta xy. So this will give me, if there is no term x term here, just goes to 0. Beta y will be the one is there. Dou y by dou x, sorry, dou y dot by dou y will give me dou by dou y of same equation. Since y is there in both terms, this will be like this, beta x. So if I made any mistakes, please let me know. This will become kx minus alpha y minus alpha x beta y minus ky plus beta x. Sorry, beta into x. Okay. So this is my linearized Jacobian matrix, also called as system matrix, because I'm considering input to 0. There is no input in the system, but even if it is there. Okay. Now I'm going to linearize this system, just checking if everything is correct. minus plus minus will come here, minus is coming here, here also it is there, minus is coming here. Right, okay, good. Now minus minus alpha plus beta. Okay. Now we are going to linearize the system for 2 points. First A at 0, 0. First equilibrium point 0, 0 we are going to try. Whenever I am putting x is equal to x and y equal to 0, this will give me kx 0, 0 minus ky. So this is one. When I do this for equilibrium point, this instead of writing, I'm just copying to save. Okay. So at this point, if I substitute this, this will be kx minus alpha into kx by alpha minus alpha into ky by beta. Let me write it here. This will give me kx minus alpha into substituting this as x, this instead of y. Kx minus alpha into kx by alpha. This is one term. Another term is minus alpha into ky by beta because x is equal to ky by beta. Beta into kx by alpha. This will become minus ky plus beta into ky by beta. So whatever terms we can reject that. This alpha alpha will go, beta beta will go. So this will give me 0, kx minus kx 0 minus alpha by beta into ky, beta by alpha into kx, ky is 0. So this is the another term. So the first linearized system A at equilibrium point 0, 0 is will look like this. Kx 0, 0 minus ky. Linearized system A at equilibrium point ky by beta, comma kx by alpha will look like this. 0 beta by alpha into kx minus alpha by beta into ky 0, right? So let me call this as A1, call this as A2. A1 at 0, 0, 0, 0, A2 as ky by beta, comma kx by alpha. Now I am going to find whether this equilibrium points are stable or not. So finding stability of the equilibrium points or linearized system around its equilibrium points. Right. How can I find the stability? S minus A1 determinant equal to 0. So this will give me S minus Kx 0, 0 S plus Ky. Determinant of this will be S minus Kx into S plus Ky equal to 0. So one of the terms has minus. So S is equal to Kx, S is equal to minus Ky. So this is greater than 0. Both poles are not in the left half of the explained. It is in the right half of the explained. One pole at right half of the explained. The system is unstable. So A1 is unstable because the same system A at the equilibrium point 0, 0 is unstable. This is how you have to interpret it. So when I check with the second system, S minus A2 equal to 0, this will give me S alpha by beta ky minus beta by alpha kx S equal to 0. Determinant of this. S square minus minus plus beta by alpha into alpha by beta kx ky equal to 0. This will go S square plus kx ky equal to 0 S square is equal to minus kx ky. These are constants only. So S is equal to root of kx ky I. Right. So based on the values of kx and ky, the stability will be decided. If the kx ky greater than 0, unstable. Kx greater than 0, ky less than 0, stable. Right, because when you again take root, it is there inside the root, right? When one of this will be minus, it will again be I square, it will become minus, right? Correct one. Similarly, kx less than 0, ky greater than 0, stable. If both are x comma ky less than 0, unstable. Okay, so these are all the nature of this system. Understood? Any doubts in this? Right? Yeah. You have any doubt?
No doubts, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Right. So that's it. So we solved some problems in this. In the Monday, from Monday, we will start off with week 11. And week 12 is like just explanation that doesn't have any real problem solving. Maybe it will come for some one word questions or something just to make you understand how much you understood about the entire syllabus. Kind of. So we will just solve week 11 next week, and then we will do all the week revisit, whatever problems or doubts you have that we can discuss. So people who are watching this lectures, at least try to attend live sessions from the next week itself. So it will be useful for you to prepare for the end semester exam. Right?
Intern is pen paper or what? That is.
What?
Is it the intern is pen paper or it is just like case one
Ah,
and case two?
it's both computer based and so it is objective and subjective, right? Both pen and paper. Subjective will be pen and paper, and objective will be computer based.
Okay. So we have to write and submit that paper.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is like 50-50% you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the I mean the exam content like week 9 to 12 or it
No,
is
1 to 12.
1 to 12? Okay.
Week 1 to 12, but we don't really ask some questions like design a compensator. Since you did it on the design assignment, we are just leaving it out because it will take a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, but you can, like, there will not be any problems in long solving problems using Bode, root locus, or Nyquist kind of. If we give a transfer function, draw Bode plot, draw Nyquist plot, there won't be any questions like that. But you can expect some conceptual based or understanding intuition based question from this Bode, Nyquist, and root locus. Like, you should be able to recall the formula or the concepts you learned while you are learning
Mhm.
this topic.
Can we have mock for this intern for the
No,
control?
no, we really don't give mark because like people tend to fix one direction on based on the mark. So you're very set to free to prepare on your own. Just cover all the topics once, presentation once, then try graded assignments and practice assignment problems.
Okay. So it will be around the practice and graded assignments similar to that.
Like if you can solve it by your own, it's understood that you understood all the concepts. Then you will be able to solve the sensum easily.
Okay.
And there won't really any questions from assignments or something, but Similar questions you can expect.
Yeah.
Right. Any other doubts?
No, thank you.
These are some broader topics I can recollect today. So you can just go through this, give weightage to these topics also.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't have any doubts or anything, we can wrap up.
Yep.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
In the
Manisha?
last question, and
Oh.
yeah, in the last problem we just solved,
Mhm.
we can't find matrix B. Can't find matrix B.
We can't find matrix what? You are on mute.
Yeah, asking about matrix B. B matrix.
B.
We only
Oh,
found B
input matrix B.
Yeah, input matrix B.
There is no input given, no, so we are not doing that. If there is any
Yeah.
U1, it is given, we will do that.
Oh.
That's why we didn't find. Okay then. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.